A new book by a pair of New York Times journalists takes a look at an ugly truth about the spreading of hate and disinformation on Facebook. The authors are very critical of the social media platform and its CEO, Mark Zuckerberg. Shira Frankel is one of those authors, and she is joining us now to give us some insight into the research that was done for this book. Good morning. So good to see you. This is really interesting. You've been working on this for some time, and you say Facebook was actually a problem from day one just by how it was created, just by the goal to connect the world while profiting from its users. And as they were growing, they were already mishandling users' data, spreading fake news, and amplifying dangerous, polarizing hate and speech. Wow. So also saying that maybe they were fully aware of this. Tell me what you learned through all of this and why you came to that conclusion.
You know, as reporters, we had written so many articles about Facebook, and going into this, we sort of wondered, well, what else is there to learn? And we were shocked as we reported this, sort of how many of the problems that Facebook currently has were baked into the very founding of the company and how they structured their product. In order for Facebook to be successful, it has to keep you logging on as many times a day and really sort of scrolling through that content for as many hours of the day as possible. And so they had to make really emotive content kind of surface to the top of your news feed. And once you do that, once you are motivated by having people see things that make them happy or sad or angry or frustrated, you're ultimately leading to a cycle in which that kind of content is, promoted all across the site. And we show in the book how a lot of their decisions sort of ended up inadvertently leading to the problems of misinformation and hate speech that the platform currently has.
Okay, give me an example of some of the most egregious mistakes that Facebook has made throughout this time in creating this platform that is just huge.
You know, I'm based here in the United States, but for me as a reporter, I think the chapter we did on Myanmar really stood out in my mind. This was a country which had no internet really before Facebook. Facebook launched there, and within a very short time, the majority of the country was using them. It was the internet. And Facebook was told and warned again and again. We show in our book people saying to Facebook, there's a huge problem here. Hate speech is running rampant, and we think something really bad is going to happen. Somebody even comes to their offices and says, yes, I think there might be a genocide if you don't do something about it.
Wow.
And Facebook does nothing.
Wow. So Facebook has said that some of these things are out of their control, that they've been trying to do things to take a handle of all of this. They've apologized. They have people who are coming to work on the platform. Do you think they're doing enough?
There's no doubt that Facebook has done a lot to try and change. Of that Myanmar example I gave, at the time they had a single person that was moderating content. Now they've got, dozens, which is better. But I would argue that for $1 trillion company, this is $1 trillion company, there's more that they can be doing.
Yeah. And do you guys get into it all, the election, the Russian scandal, all of that? Tell me what you learned about that.
Yes, I mean, we have several chapters in the middle of the book looking at what Facebook knew about Russia and when. Our conclusions, I think, are going to surprise people in terms of how early Facebook was told, we think Russia did something to try and influence Americans, and we think we need to look for it very aggressively. And yet, executives don't go public with that for nearly a year after the elections. And then we, of course, look at the 2016 election of Donald Trump through the 2020 elections, asking questions of why Facebook made the decisions they did around the removal of President Donald Trump's account as well.
Okay, let's talk about President Biden blaming Facebook for killing people with the allowance of what they call disinformation on COVID. The company pushed back, saying they've made credible COVID information available on the site to billions of users worldwide. What are your thoughts on this issue now that you know what you know?
Yes, I mean, we've seen a lot of tensions grow between President Biden's White House and Facebook over this topic. Just yesterday, I reported a story for the New York Times about how a year ago, Facebook was told by its own data scientists that they wanted to study misinformation on COVID, and they were not given the resources in order to do so. And so we know that a lot of the problems that are happening right now between the White House and Facebook are due to Facebook not having the data that the White House wants. Facebook can't actually tell the White House how prevalent misinformation about COVID vaccines are on the platform because they don't know that themselves.
Well, reading your articles and listening to what you're saying, it makes me wonder. I'm curious, do you have a Facebook page, and would you recommend, after learning everything you've learned, to get rid of it? What difference does it make? Because there are so many other platforms that might be doing the same thing. What about that?
Right. I mean, we have to remember a lot of the problems we point out in our book are endemic to every social media platform. And yes, I have a Facebook page, I have an Instagram page that I largely use for family and friends. Ultimately, it's a great tool that helps me connect people across the world. But, I started to think of it a lot like sugar. I'm
Mhm.
not going to remove sugar entirely from my life. I just know that a lot of it isn't very good for me.
So, would that be your advice to the average person because of what you've learned? What is the best way to handle social media? Because we can't get rid of it, we've got to learn to live with it, right?
Absolutely. That's exactly right. I don't think it's realistic to tell people to delete Facebook. And even if they did, there's TikTok, there's Twitter, there's YouTube, there's a number of other platforms out there. You should just think about moderating how you use it in your life. And really, the most important thing is think before you share. If an article seems too good to be true, if you're reading something that just seems to inspire outrage, maybe check again, check the source, make sure it's verified, see if you can find other information about it. We ultimately have to be responsible for what we post and share on all those
Yeah,
platforms.
it just seems like it's gotten so big that they can't possibly find out which articles are credible and which are not. So it really is up to us as individuals, isn't it? I so appreciate you joining me this morning and giving your perspective. I look forward to reading the book, An Ugly Truth. There it is on your screen. Shara, thank you again. Fascinating research you guys have done. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Have a great day.